Room 222 at your service. I think I was a real little kid when Room 222 was on national TV. We consider them hippies nowadays. It's okay. One of them probably would have been my parents. Mom wasn't hippie though. Mom had her own we could call them demons, but they're not all. They probably are, depends on how you look at it. Everybody's got their genes, and those genes are gonna make you what you are, and we all have access to Daddy. He can change a lot of that. He really can. He created genes, and he kind of knew what was going on Earth as it was in heaven. It always passes through as part of being me. Yeah, because she's my only faithful friend, Mama Hen, Sandra. She's at the end of her life, last quarter. If you consider 100 years a human lifetime, she's definitely in the last 25. But, I do believe that she has done the best she possibly could, as is required. Doesn't have to be required, but if you really want to make it in, give me your best. Into what? Well, it's my diary, so I get to say my world, right? Yeah, pretty much. That's what it is. Welcome to my world. My diary doesn't have a whole lot of picking on anybody. It really doesn't. I do question a lot of things, including workplace. Even so, I really shy away from picking at somebody. I'm more interested in what could they be doing if they had knowledge that they didn't. And how to get that knowledge? Well, nowadays, Daddy done made it incredibly simple. But it's not accessible to everybody. We did our best, and it has been done for at least, definitely where I live. Daddy put me in America today, 40-some years ago. And, there's been a lot of things that need to get done along the way there, too, I might reference it to government. I occasionally I look at the American government, where it came from, where it's at, what it's produced, what it's screwed up. I think the production of goodness is more than the production of badness. But nonetheless, this is the middle ground. What do you expect? It could all be hell. We have many depictions of it. What's your personal interpretation of hell? Used to be, because we didn't We weren't so individualized and complex, you know. Humans do everything that the cells in the body do, which is really incredible and cool and very useful. Yeah, the voice that I'm currently using, the young boy did not have this big booming voice. I'm not booming now, but I can boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I can. Hitler was most interested in booms. Yeah. In his world, in his life, he ended up, I didn't, but he did. He ended up wanting to just bomb everybody else. They suck. Yeah, my way's better. You know, and I can bomb them into submission. You know, I'd take away all their workers, and I still have some. I win. Believe it or not, that's the truth. China is just now figuring that out, and guess what? China's got more workers than any other place on the planet. And they're not dumb. At least those who run things. I mean, China is definitely a caste system. What was is, and it ain't gonna change very fast. It's one thing about America. Without even shooting each other, we can change systems very quickly. We only have two at the moment, Democrat and Republican, but we can change those pretty quickly. Caste system, there ain't no anything. It is, and it should be, and that's how they think. And it works. It just doesn't get you very far. It depends on what you think of as far. There was a president, and Hoover it was. Why do we need the patent office? Everything's been invented. Is all we need. There ain't nothing we don't got that we need. Yeah, right, President Hoover. But you know, there's a lot of things to go on. It's always one-upsmanship. Okay, you can do that, I can do it better. Or I can do something even better. Yeah. That's how things grow and become new. If I can stop you from doing better than what I'm doing, then I win too. Yeah, that's also part of the equation. That's all thought, though. You know, just surviving was tough. But you see what you humans have done, actually. I would, of course, say. See what Daddy has had you humans be able to do. Just for audience other than Mama Hen, Daddy is the creator. Whatever name you give him, it is the creator. You came from somewhere. If you can think, then nothingness could not. So therefore, you had to come from someplace that thinks. How the hell did you get good at it? Some of you ain't. But nonetheless, things got to do things to build things that can think and know themselves. And we do. We humans. We're the first to know. Hey, I'm alive, and yeah, I'm going to die. Ain't nothing else knows that. It's a fact. They blamed that on Eve, actually. You bit of the fruit of knowledge. And you had Adam do it too, just to make sure you had a companion. Hey, that's alright. I'm happy to be here, Eve. We get the job done. Not exactly the way you planned it, though. Tomorrow's a day shift, so I have to start getting up at 9, and I typically get up at 12. And my body's actually scheduled to get up at 12. About 11:30, I start thinking, I don't even know if I look at the clock at the time, but whenever I actually do say, all right, fine, I'm done, I stretched, and I got to poop. It's usually around 12, typically 12:15. Pooping in the morning, funky as it sounds, is normal for a human or almost any other animal. But when you don't know what morning is, then it becomes a problem. Oh shit, I gotta poop now. Oh Christ, I'm busy. Or peeing is worse. Well, it depends. You don't want to load in your pants, and you don't want to be dripping while you're trying to get there either. Yeah, I'm done. Yeah. I'm gonna have a couple of cases to clean up. Empty cans when the winter's finally over. This is the worst winter we've had in quite a while. Last winter, I wasn't working, and I did that on purpose. It was a bad mistake. But no snow. No, it wasn't last winter. It was the winter before that. Last winter it only snowed twice. Whatever. It is what it is. But I did actually get a Subaru within 9 months of quitting because I figured, shit, if I'm going to be a pizza driver, I better have a Subaru. It's a fact. They built them in the Alps to handle anything. They do a pretty good job. Nothing can handle ice, though. I can't wait till I don't need to sit in a car to enjoy my outside. thought came through, your body is a car. I guess it's actually sit in it. Have it. Brief conversation, one comment to another. George, student of the Lord, Commodus, something like that. He often talks about carnal mind as the problem. Not necessarily. You're going to have a hybrid Frankenstein. You're born carnal, you're going to have those things that you can figure other things too. That's what that counts. That's why you go to such a thing. You know how long that took? Many more lifetimes than any of us would ever have getting before. But just to be able to contemplate it, give Daddy thanks, of course. He said it would be on earth as it was in heaven. This is what it is. Got a few more activists on my wall. Some invited, probably all the ones were. Starting to see DJs too, disc jockeys, radio personalities. Yeah, welcome. I still need to pull together something incredible. You all can be quite useful too. Not just for what you do, but for what you do. I'm just feeling like I'm going to pitch the 1996 Subaru Outback first edition Porsche box train 5-speed manual. It's still around. I'm driving 237,000 miles. Still does what I asked it to. Of it, Prius, the original one, first of its kind too, 280,000 miles. It's still going too. It doesn't go in the snow like the Subaru does. I don't need to dig Subaru out. 6 months. But anyway, not the winner. White Hawk loves you. Know that.